listen to the same like song on repeat. It's not like I have different songs. Like I'll literally just pick one 3-minute song, have it on repeat as I'm reading for like an hour.
Well, it's like I'll listen. We talked about it a little bit before, but like I'll listen to music while I write or while I work on character development, and I have characters who like I hear a certain song and I'll start like crying because I like just so emotionally attached to that story that I made for that character. Like there's one like specific song I have like this old. I'm sorry.
No.
What?
You don't. So when I'm doing this, I'm just lowering the mic because this is like
that was blocking
the
mic.
gamepad is like right in front of the microphone. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, but there are certain songs where it's like, oh well, this was the. I get super nostalgic for characters that I had and have made before. I don't know. I get very attached to characters.
Yeah. No, I mean that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you associate that music with them specifically?
Oh yeah, depending on.
But why is that inherently? So are you saying that it's like inherently sad for you?
Not always sad. It's more like it's nostalgic more than anything else, and that's not always a sad thing. Like I can listen to certain songs and be like, oh, this reminds me of when I wrote that scene for this, that, or the other thing, and like that's not a sad thing necessarily. Ugh, I hate this. Like I don't necessarily find it sad. Like the example I was thinking of was like I wrote a character for a young like Civil War veteran who ends up losing his arm. So like, oh, like my baby, he only has one arm and he's like this like young promising guy living in a time before like modern medicine really existed, so it was like a very difficult character to actually characterize. And that was like a big thing for me going through and developing that character. And the song actually has, like, I named him after the song I was listening to at the time.
Yeah.
So like that song like gets to me, but I don't know. Certain things, I use certain things to dictate like moods, I guess, in some cases, and like I use a lot of visuals as prompts too.
Yeah. I'm trying to like the song Treasure by Bruno Mars.
Yes.
So I used to listen to that song when I would, when I started running at the track back in 2013, the summer of 2013. At which point I was like very overweight, very unhappy.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend just broke up with me, and like I started running and it was like so hard because of my weight and all that, and just like overall just like if you were to like look at it now, it's probably not like the happiest time of my life.
Yeah.
But now when I'll listen to like you'd expect you'd be like, oh well, like I'm assuming when you listen to Bruno Mars, even though it is a happy song, like you probably get sad when you listen to it because it reminds you of like you listen to it all the time, like right when your girlfriend broke up with you and when you were like struggling with your weight issues and you were trying to run and couldn't, but it's not the case for me. I still hear that song and I'm like, this is a catchy song. This makes me happy.
Yeah.
But I don't. That doesn't happen with me. Like I don't hear music and like, and it's not that music isn't important to me, but I just for some reason I don't. And I don't know if it's like I'm assuming this is like not because I think most people don't have this issue.
Yeah.
Not an issue, but just like I'm the opposite of most people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's where like, I'll like hear a song, you know what I mean, of like a time in my life that was like sad, and I just don't associate it with that.
Yeah.
Like I just don't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
or like,
some people just don't. They don't associate music with certain things, and like,
but like I do, but that's why I'm like struggling to understand why I don't experience the same like.
I mean, you might just have one of those things where you like don't necessarily feel that you need to associate with negative things. Like there are songs where it's like, oh, this reminds me of a person that I don't necessarily want to think about right now, so I don't listen to it or something. But like only because maybe that was playing when something significant happened, or I don't know, like there are songs where like my grandma used to sing them to me when I was younger, and like I don't like to listen to them when I'm in like a certain mood because like, oh, it'll make me sad or it'll make me nostalgic for like when I was younger. I don't know. It's a weird, music has a very strange emotional impact on people, and it can be very different for everyone, obviously.
And I'm not like trying to sound cocky when I say this because I don't even know if it's necessarily a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get as sad as I used to anymore.
Yeah.
And like there's like a lot of things, there's not many things that will make me sad. Like a couple weeks ago I was walking my dog Dodger and I started thinking about my dog Riley that I had to put down.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started thinking about it, I just got a big smile on my face. I'm like, oh, Riley was such an awesome dog. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And it was funny because that same day my mom, like, I had come home and my mother was, you know, kind of in a melancholy, kind of upset mood. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, oh, I was just thinking about Riley today. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, I was thinking about Riley on my walk too. I'm like, but I had a completely different reaction.
Yeah.
I like got happy and was like, oh, you know, it wasn't like, oh, you know, I miss Riley. I mean, of course I miss Riley, but that I don't associate that with being sad. It's like, yeah, I miss Riley, but he was an awesome dog. I don't know, it just doesn't upset me.
Yeah, you had a lot of good times with him.
But it's not like, it's like, oh, well, like you're not sad that he's not here anymore, like you didn't like him. It was like, no, it's just he had him for 14 years, he's passed away.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That makes sense. I think...
But I have that same outlook on like...
You have like, that same outlook on a lot of things.
On like even people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like talking about a deceased dog and a deceased person, most people would be like, oh, well, that's a little different. But like, you know, I have my grandmother's card that we had on our funeral, and it has a really, really, really cool poem on the back called Dashes. And whenever I read that poem, and by the way, that poem is all about, you know, doing what you want with your life and like making sure you make the most of your life, and you know, and being proud of it and having no regrets. And I'll read that, and I feel like most people would read that and like it would make them think of, you know, whoever was on the card. It's just the fact that they're holding like the card with like their date of birth and date of death on it. It would be, but I read that and I'll be like, yeah, I'm like, it gets me like pumped and motivated.
Yeah.
And you know, and then I'll look at the picture of my grandmother and associate with that with her and be like, you know what, like I am gonna live my life, you know, and like, but yeah, but it makes me kind of feel, sometimes I kind of feel uncomfortable because I haven't really met anyone who can relate. I actually haven't met anyone that can relate to me on that.
On that level? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who, like, everyone I've kind of talked to has been like, no. Like, when someone dies, I'm, like,
I mean,
sad. Like,
I think it depends on the death. Like, I personally haven't, like, I've been very, very fortunate. I haven't lost anyone very close to me. Like, I still have 3 out of my 4 grandparents, and the one grandparent that died was not close to me at all. Like, I didn't know him. I haven't lost aunts or uncles. Like, I haven't lost anyone. So the biggest thing for me is, like, my dead cat. And like, even then, like, I don't know if I told the story last time, but, like, I'll laugh about her because my first pet ever, got it as a kitten. But, like, my dad got her, I don't know where, but, like, from some back alley fucking cat dealer, apparently, where, like, he brought her home, and she was born with a defect that her kneecap was on the side of her leg. So she had a perpetual limp. And, like, that just started everything about this poor cat's life, where she would limp every day because she couldn't walk. She got super fat. And then, like, toward the end of her life, developed, like, tumors on her back, but, like, benign. So they were just, like, giant, like, tumors on this massively fat cat. It just, like, was the happiest cat ever, though. And she was just like, yeah, no, like, I know my body's all, like, screwed up, but I'm fine. Like, I'm having a great time. Like, so she was fine. And, like, I can't help but laugh every time I think of her, because it's, like, this poor cat. I remember getting a phone call from my neighbor, like, there's someone out in your yard, like little kids with sticks, like poking your cat, like, and it's like tumors. And I was just like, oh, okay. So my dad went outside and was just like, get off my lawn or I'll start beating you with a stick. Like dumb stuff like that. But like, I don't get sad about that, or like,
yeah,
I keep buying fish and accidentally killing them, and I just laugh every time. I don't know if that makes me a bad person. I shouldn't be working at a pet store if I can't keep a fish alive. But
yeah,
it's different with like your grandmother.
Well, it also might have something to do with the fact that my family has experienced an unusually high amount of deaths.
Yeah.
Just in my 21 years of life, like I have lost count of how many people we have passed away.
Yeah.
In my family, and it's like, oh, okay, well maybe like the more and the more that does happen, you just kind of learn to deal with it in a way that. But for me, I luckily walked out positive. You know, like I kind of came out of it like learning something. Like, how to deal. But you're right though. Like I do have that. Like I don't really get upset anymore, especially since I started meditating in Razen, stance and started focusing on being present and living in the moment and trying not to form like too many connections. Also having a lot more control over my thoughts.
That's something.
Not even necessarily like emotions, just control over my thoughts.
That's a good thing to have though. Like
which thoughts I feed.
Yeah, like I don't have that. I've tried very much, but I think it's a combination of like just the amount of anxiety I have and my personality, where I get so wrapped up in one thought.
Well, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
That's why you need to like learn how to do it.
Yeah.
It just means that it's going to be a bigger challenge for you.
Yeah.
The bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward.
There you go. But like I just know that like I definitely struggle with that as a person, because like I'm constantly in a state of like overthinking, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Because that's always where I'm at. I'm always overthinking everything.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't just tell me not to do that. That's not how this works.
Hey everyone, next time on FireCore Fantasies, we're gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
A little bit about something.